Have you ever wondered why some people in your life smile at you, speak sweetly, and act like they care, yet something deep inside tells you not to trust them? Science has uncovered shocking truths about certain kinds of people who can silently destroy your confidence and happiness, but these truths are rarely spoken about. Today, I will reveal the 2 types of people you should never trust, no matter how convincing they may appear. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to share may completely change the way you see the people around you. The manipulator in disguise is one of the most dangerous types of people you will ever meet in life, not because they look threatening or openly show hostility, but because they hide behind masks of charm, politeness, and false concern. Scientists in psychology and behavioral research have often explored the ways manipulation works, but what they do not usually highlight enough is how silently it rewires a person's self-confidence and damages their sense of trust. A manipulator is not always someone who shouts or pressures you aggressively. In fact, many manipulators use soft tones, carefully chosen words, and a friendly appearance to get close to you. They do not just tell lies. They plant doubts. They reshape your reality, and they make you second-guess yourself until you cannot separate your own thoughts from their influence. This is what makes them so dangerous, because they do not just deceive your eyes or ears. They slowly capture your mind. Imagine a person who always seems supportive, who gives you advice, and who always wants to be around when you make important decisions. At first, they look like a blessing, someone who really cares. But behind the smile, their true goal is control. Scientists have studied the phenomenon called gaslighting, where manipulators make their victims question their own memory, perception, or judgment. They might tell you that you are overreacting when you point out a problem, or they might convince you that you are remembering things wrong, even though your memory is perfectly clear. Over time, this constant manipulation makes you doubt yourself. And the moment you begin to lose faith in your own mind, the manipulator gains full power over you. This effect is shocking, but researchers rarely mention how deeply it can crush a person's inner strength and leave them dependent on the manipulator for approval. Manipulators are often disguised as friends, partners, colleagues, or even family members. They know how to blend in and look trustworthy. They use kindness as a weapon, giving you small favors or compliments to win your trust before using that trust against you. For example, they may encourage you to share your secrets, your fears, and your weaknesses, only to later use those vulnerabilities to control you or to break you down in front of others. Scientists note that this behavior follows a pattern of reinforcement, a cycle of reward and punishment that keeps the victim hooked. The manipulator rewards you with attention or kindness when you do what they want, and withdraws it or criticizes you when you resist. Slowly, without realizing it, you begin to shape your behavior according to their hidden agenda, because your brain has been trained to seek their approval. This is not a dramatic scene from a movie. It is a real psychological trap that people fall into every day. One of the shocking truths about manipulators is that they rarely appear dangerous to outsiders. In fact, they are often praised by others for being so polite, helpful, or intelligent. This makes it extremely hard for victims to speak out, because when they do, people around them may say, "But he's such a nice person," or "She would never do that." Scientists may explain this as part of the manipulator's social strategy, but what is not discussed enough is the silent suffering of those trapped inside such relationships. It is not just about control of actions. It is about slow destruction of self-worth. Victims of manipulation often feel isolated because even when they recognize what is happening, they fear nobody will believe them. This psychological isolation deepens the wound, making it harder to escape. The manipulator in disguise also thrives on creating confusion. They give mixed signals, alternating between warmth and coldness, between support and criticism. This unpredictable behavior keeps the victim constantly on edge, always trying to please the manipulator, never knowing what will trigger their disapproval. Scientists describe this as intermittent reinforcement, a behavioral tactic that is also used in gambling and addiction. It is the unpredictability that keeps people hooked, always chasing the next moment of kindness, even though it is only temporary. What science does not often emphasize is that in human relationships, this unpredictability is not just addictive, it is deeply destructive. It makes victims mistake rare moments of kindness for real love or real friendship, while ignoring the constant underlying harm. Another shocking aspect of manipulators is that they are skilled at shifting blame. Whenever they are confronted, they turn the tables, making the victim feel guilty for even questioning them. They may say things like, "You're imagining it," "You're too sensitive," or "You always misunderstand me." These phrases are not just casual comments, they are calculated tools designed to make you distrust your own instinct. Over time, victims learn to silence their doubts and ignore their discomfort, believing that they themselves are the problem. This is the most dangerous success of the manipulator, when a person loses trust in their own inner voice. Scientists may analyze these behaviors, but what they do not fully express is how permanent the scars can be. Even after escaping a manipulator, many people struggle with low self-esteem, anxiety, and a fear of trusting others for years. It is important to realize that manipulators do not always look evil. They may appear ordinary, charming, or even loving. Their disguise is their greatest strength, and their ability to exploit human emotions is their weapon. While scientists provide us with the terms and patterns, the shocking truth that is not mentioned enough is how easily any one of us can fall into their trap, no matter how strong, intelligent, or confident we think we are. Trust is one of the most powerful gifts we can give, but once it is placed in the hands of a manipulator in disguise, it can become a weapon against us. This is why such people must never be trusted. In the end, trust is a treasure that should be given with wisdom, not carelessness. The manipulator in disguise and the pretender with hidden motives are two kinds of people who can destroy our confidence, steal our peace of mind, and break the bonds that hold our lives together. Science may explain their tactics, but what truly matters is our awareness and courage to protect ourselves from them. Never ignore the warning signs, never silence your inner voice, and never give blind trust to those who don't deserve it. If we choose carefully whom we trust, we not only save ourselves from pain, but also make room for genuine, loyal, and honest relationships to flourish in our lives. Good luck to each of you in building a life surrounded by truth and sincerity. May you always have the wisdom to protect your trust, the strength to walk away from betrayal, and the courage to live with dignity. Thank you.